Good morning and welcome to the Critical Focus channel, and this video on a topic I have had some thoughts about for a couple of weeks and probably subconsciously for a longer time, and that is the essential card pack and its effects, its pros and cons on the meta and the game, the buy-in, what have you. Follow along as I ramble. Welcome. So first and foremost, we must kind of pinpoint what constitutes the essential card pack, and the essential card pack is just what the name implies. Essential card pack. It's not a rivals deck. It's just a bunch of cards. It's 60 cards actually. Who came out as a standalone card pack during the Dire Chasm season. But it has really nothing to do with the Dire Chasm, just came out then. And none of the cards in this card pack are new. They are just reprints of cards from the first, second and third season. And a decision was made to make these cards essential, basically evergreen. They will never rotate out of championship rotation. So they'll just stay in the game forever. And that is the reason for this video. I think that is quite a big issue actually. Not only for Championship, but also for this new popular format that is Rivals Plus. And that's what I'm going to try to hone in on. And for me, Championship has always been the way to play the game, although I have kind of reevaluated that as of late. I must say, when the first glimpses of the Essential Card Pack came out, and when I actually got my hands on it, which was kind of really unnecessary because I already owned all these old cards. But they also changed some of the wording, I guess, and you know, I'm a completionist, so I obviously got it. I felt quite like, well, this will be fun to get to use Great Strength again and Branching Fate and Glory Seeker. But now I kind of feel like every deck is the same. You pick your Great Strength, your Great Fortitude, your Glory Seeker, and you fight Frosty, and then you fill up the rest of the 6 or 7 spaces in your upgrade allotment. Especially for the upgrades, I think it's quite devastating. And in terms of ploys, yeah, we have seen some restrictions with Daylight Robbery and Duel of Wits, but I mean, Inspired Attack is still a great thing to combine with Punching Up, for example. And so a lot of these cards will also be a staple of any championship deck. And in terms of end phases and searches, I think Branching Fate is a great pick. Strong Start is a very solid pick for aggressive warbands, such as like hard to kill fighters like Wormspat or Morgox. And Pure Carnage is a great one for horde warbands, just sending in lots of disposable fighters, basically. So I think what it has done to the meta for Championship is not a good thing. It is a good thing in terms of a cheap buy-in for players don't wanting to get everything in the game. I totally sympathize with that. If you just play casually for once in a while and do want to play a championship game, you can pick up the Essential Card Pack and have a solid deck. And you might even win, even though you don't own everything, and that's fine and all. But it has, for me at least, lessened the experience of deck building, because if I want to build a super competitive championship deck, I can't really forgo these cards. And that's why I think I am going forward, will not be using the Essential Card Pack when featuring our championship games on the channel. Just to, I mean, I won't say that this is a decision forever, but I will definitely take a break from these cards, because I just feel bored with including Branching Fate and Great Strength in every deck, basically. And Glory Seeker is just a super solid pick. It works for every range and just +1 damage. And I think every championship deck includes that card, basically. And I don't think that's very fun. And you could argue, yeah, in every rotation, in every meta, there will be cards that are staples. You have things like Everything to Prove and the Contest of Equals. I don't fancy those cards either. They are super strong. And these new card like Sudden Revelation will probably see every deck as well. But But those are at least rotated out, those cards. So, I mean, the Essential Pack can just stay forever and be a boring, actually, staple of Championship meta. I think it actually might bore people more than it will lure them into play Championship, and I think that's not a good decision. And I wouldn't mind seeing the whole card pack just getting a big nerf ban, or at least more restrictions. I think Great Strength needs to be hit. I think Glory Seeker needs to be hit as well. Although, yeah, that can possibly be devastating for some ranged warbands, sure. And make them less viable, but the fact that it also works for range 1 and 2 makes it just too good to not take. So, that's my feeling on the Essential Card Pack and the deck building in Championship. And we're going to talk briefly as well as about the Rivals Plus format, which is super popular. We have featured a couple of games here on the channel. They will have both been very well received with lots of likes and views, and seems to be something that people like. But even there, as of now at least, this Essential Card Pack is an option to use when playing Rivals Plus. The fact that you can use the Essential Card Pack when playing Rivals Plus just lessens the meta. I think the new Mace Breaches pack has been good for that meta as well, but I mean, the first few tournaments at least that I checked the deck list for, lots of those decks included the Essential Card Pack, but because it just was a much stronger option than the Illusory Might or Silent Menace. Since then, also the Mace Breachers Rivals deck has come out, which is like not a standalone card pack, but it's just a deck list comprised of cards from several different expansions. But it's a well-balanced pack and probably a strong competitor. But the Essential Card Pack is probably still the strongest of those options. You just have access to much more cards to choose from. And I think the Essential Card Pack should be removed as an option in those tournaments. And that's why we didn't use it in our Rivals Plus games on the channel, because it just felt like cheating, really. And, I mean, the cards in the Essential Card Pack is also, they are from the first, second, and third season, and they just lack the finesse of the newer cards. The good thing is they are very plain, very easy to understand. They don't have any strange, weird reactions that noobs can't really get their head around, so to speak. You can understand the cards without knowing every nook and cranny of the game, so that's good. But they don't have any finesse, they don't have any fun drawbacks, like, say a card like Savage Strength. Yeah, you get +1 damage, but you also lose a defense die. And yes, sometimes, and most decks that include it, it won't do much, but at least it lessens your option to boost the defense of that fighter. Because even if you give him +1 defense from another card, it will still just go down from the Savage Strength. So the synergy isn't really there that the Great Strength has, for example. So they are a bit plain and just too powerful, I think, to be evergreen cards. So yeah, I think that sums up my feelings about the Essential Card Packs, both when it comes to Championship and the Rivals Plus format. I think, yeah, the card design is a bit boring, they are very strong cards, and you will have a hard time not including them in any really competitive Championship deck. And I think that is some things that just lessens the deck building experience and the meta, even though it actually adds cards to that whole pile. It will actually narrow it, strangely enough. So I think it doesn't necessarily need to be banned. At least there needs to be restrictions on more cards from the pack. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you feel like doing that, and leave a comment. Did you agree? Maybe you disagreed completely, and that's totally fine. That's also a big reason why I'm doing these videos. I don't expect everyone to have the same opinion, and I don't really mind it, because maybe some other angle can be hinted of in the comment, and maybe I will change my mind, and that's fine. That's part of growing and reaching out to your community. So without further ado, Take care and see you soon. I'll post the most enjoyable warbands Beastgrave soon. Yeah, so look out for that. Take care. Bye.